Finlay's got a black top. We've both got to change. Lovely jubbly.
Two brilliant sides, evenly matched, dare I say, on the big court here at Mount Evelyn. Futsal Roos, Corey Swool and Scott Rogan take to court with Giovanni Nepomuceno and Cosy Russo.
Cosy Russo's also had a call-up previously to the national team.
Provided by Gnomes next to me. My name's Adam Palombi. Northern Pheonix with a real shift in their lineup, but to complete the Fitzroy one, Maliaros is the goalkeeper. As for Northern Pheonix, Saka Waljaran on court with Hamza Chandab and Yaquin Jimenez. And the captain's armband's been awarded to who is usually a Fitzroy youth player. We'll need to get some idea on him shortly. But Gnomes, I have to say it, I am very excited for this one. There is so much talent on court. Isho Haskell's the backup goalkeeper for Northern Pheonix. And it must be said, this man always makes me excited. Giovanni Nepomuceno represents Curaçao on the outdoor circuit. Gus Hiddink was his international manager at one stage of his career. But what he provides to a futsal court is something very awe-inspiring. And while the Pheonix have a lot of young talents thrown together, chemistry might be the main concern, but Saka Waljaran for Western United has certainly burst onto the scene, almost Micah Richards-esque in the second half of 2024 in the series competition for United. As Corey Swool, Futsal takes over, has Scott Rogan on for the pass. Nepomuceno has sought the back post. And well, despite being the Futsal not providing the finish required, as you can imagine. Gnomes is back, and Gnomes, I want to get your first-hand opinion on this contest. There is so much quality on court at the moment.
There absolutely is, actually. Young Shendab on this side. Oscar Bryant on now with the ball with the captain's armband. Another out of the Fitzroy Youth Development Program. Joaquin Jimenez. Oh, haven't seen him play for a while, but I love him. I think he's a great guy.
Nepomuceno, reverse pass for Rogan. Nobody in the box. Swool might have been lurking.
Is that Sakar over the other side?
That is Saka Waljaran. How good is he?
Oh, he's all right.
How good is he?
Don't pump him up too much, but he's okay. No, I'm kidding. He's a great kid, part of our coaching staff for our junior nationals teams. Team manager with Hamza.
Jones made a lot of head waves as Russo and Nepomuceno combined, and they earn a corner. Christopher Rose was a little bit attentive. Usual championship goalkeeper for the Pheonix. Nepomuceno has Scott Rogan, Corey Swool, edge of the area.
Hey, did you watch him playing with the Futsal Roos? Oh my days, carried the team, I would say, Victoria. Only looked strong.
You can say that again.
Absolutely only looked strong, I felt, when they had the Victorians on the team.
In the most
Scott,
recent
Corey Sewell, and I would say TG2, Tyler Garner, we've adopted him as a Victorian because he's previously of Pascoval, then of Fitzroy. Used to live right here in this building, in fact. He had an apartment downstairs. Not even kidding. You're laughing. I'm not joking. There's an apartment downstairs. He used to live there. A couple of the guys have lived there. Actually, Andre Caro's lived there. Jake Bassini's lived there.
It's not the worst place to live, I'll tell you that much. It's a nice
there.
facility.
It's a great little apartment, 3-bedroom place downstairs. Very good. Back in the day, there used to be a gym upstairs as well. So everything was here. They didn't need anything.
Jimenez.
Tell you what, when those boys were on the pitch for the Futsal Roos, they looked quite organised.
It's a very unlucky end to the Futsal Roos run at the ASEAN Championships in Thailand. As Russo, no unlucky skill there. It's a brilliant move, and Corey Swool, well, had a second chance to score. And someone's put the moz on Corey, I think, this morning. He's had two gilted opportunities to score, and he has just put them wide. But
not going to lie, I actually thought that went in and came out the side. Then I realised there's no hole in the net. That was sharp. That was very sharp.
The initial thought also there, Gnomes, upon that effort, is that's a brilliant ball from Waljaran. Jimenez latches on. Maliaros will claim comfortably. It was a bit too much for Jimenez. It was a brilliant ball from Saka Waljaran. Keep an eye on him and remember that name. As Scott Rogan threads it for Russo, he threads it out of play. Must be stated, though, back in that previous point about the Futsal Roos and considering the Victorian influence that team had, Scott Rogan and Corey Swool, very important, and how unlucky they were to crash out to Vietnam in the semi-final of that competition. Of course, Indonesia would go on to win it. Players that have graced courts in Victoria, the likes of Evan Salmilena, Wendy Brynick and Samuel Amos, all victorious on that stage. And in fact, I think it was Wendy Brynick, Gnomes, who took out player of the tournament. Of course, Evan Salmilena had scored against Australia in the Indonesia-Australia group stage match-up, as Corey Swall was involved in that one. It was a 3-1 result in favour of Indonesia.
Yeah, he only played limited minutes in that first match. Evan, they were resting him for what they considered to be bigger matches.
Must be said, though, as much as he's got a lot of talent and quite the foot on him, he's a little bit lazy. A lot of people would question perhaps his movement, and I might come to eat my words all medium rare if they come back to haunt me in, well, any international affairs.
I think he just does what he needs to do. It's a lot of people say Adam Cooper is as well, but at the end of the day, they do what they need to do to get the job done.
And getting the job done was Christopher Rowe to deny Cosi Russo. Corner kick for the Tigers. Rogan touches inside and dispatches over the crossbar. Flash aging like fine wine. Adam Cooper also
fresh haircut too.
Looking very
Scotty
dapper
there.
and fresh is Scott Rogan. Cosi Russo cuts it off. Corey Swall. A lot of size about Corey as well, but he just has so much pace. In possession now, Corey Swall. Sakawal Jaron, formerly of Fitzroy's Youth Academy. Cosi Russo attacking third, moves it out wide for Rogan on the right side. Corey Swall asking for it centrally, trying to get round Hamza was Corey.
Also from the Fitzroy Youth Program, Hamza. Good to see him starting to get fit.
He's a dangerous pivot. He had his knee injuries, Hamza.
He has, and then he's just starting to get fit again.
And he's looking in good shape, it must be said. Sleeker haircut.
Married man now. Married man.
At the ripe age of?
Early 20s. 20, 21 maybe.
Setting the foundations perhaps for a long career in futsal. It's Hamza's corner for Jaron, it hits the bar. And Maliaros was seeing stars.
I would say his wife is a better player actually.
Futsal runs deep in the veins of Hamza and his family. Corner yet again for Yaquin Jimenez to receive. While Jaron was not far away from that previous effort with Cosi Russo. The Pheonix looking lively. This man has the ability to make people look very silly on a futsal court. Brian Chu takes over.
Well done, Ben.
And Hamza was lucky there perhaps. Christopher Rose caught upon. Pheonix nearly undone from a pressing and unrelenting set of Tigers. Another player of Brian Chu, 19 years of age. A lot of futsal remains ahead of him. As Russo off the turn, has denied Swall lurking. Rose claiming. It rolls back to him. Hamza Chandab had it brought behind him. Combines with Swall, gets it off Chu. Now Rogan. Jimenez in the way. Has it hit a hand? In fact, it has. And while they could be within range here, Gnomes certainly thinks so.
They might knock it around and pop it in. Oh, be good if my...
So Scott Rogan, the captain of Fitzroy, very esteemed player in his own right, has a set-piece opportunity. He lets roll for Swall, who flicks on. It's hit the bar. It was so casual by Corey Swall. Meanwhile, it's Cosi Russo who opens a scoring in some style. The sniper lined up and went right through the gates of the keeper. And it's the Tigers, in their ever brilliant fashion, who open the scoring against the Northern Pheonix. They're such a well-oiled machine, this team.
Yeah, very, very strong system Fitzroy plays.
It's almost international marquee and standard of Fitzroy here in Victoria. And they just look like such a professional outfit. And that man, they're helping up young Hamza Chandab, Cosi Russo. It's a certain, well, pillar of their success.
Must have been feeling tired, young Chandab there, had a little lie down.
Well, Jaron can certainly strike them. And that might be his intention here as he gave it shape. It'll hit Russo on its journey.
He's shaking it off, shaking it off.
Oh, he can have all the bravado in the world, but there's no shame in admitting that might have hurt as Chamzab
Oh.
Hamza and Chandab all got a bit mixed up as
I
Hamza
thought that
received
was
the corner from
Angelina
Chandab.
Man. That was their Angelina Man.
To brand the twos, the Raging Bull, Arturo Diaz on court. Of course, was a Series Futsal men's winner with Fitzroy in season 1 of 2024. Joined Pascoe Vale and is now back representing the Tigers. Moves it out wide to Corey Swall, who steps inside. Rose with a big save. Falters to Russo. Chew at the back post. Diaz out wide. Lateral movements. Cosi Russo central. Swall on the inside, making some inroads. The Raging Bull, Arturo Diaz, dispossessed for Sakaruda, who has it pinched off him. Pickpocketed by Cosi Russo. Chandab, not too much time in possession. Hamza, ball rolls, utilises the youngster, who goes laterally to Weljaran. That's well done from the Pheonix to remain composed in possession.
Oh, plenty of time even just to wipe his forehead there as he trots down.
Hamza, great ball towards Chandab. Sakurada moves it back towards Hamza, who lets fly.
He's got some power. So Corey Sewell takes 2 to stop him. The man's a machine.
It's built like a fridge, but moves like a gazelle.
He's absolutely fantastic to watch.
And has a cannon on him. You'd think that, well, a player with a K, that sounds like Swall, would fashion out back in the day. As Diaz moves it on towards Chu. Lovely field of this one already. Fitzroy with the 1 goal advantage courtesy of the sniper. Cosi Russo opening the scoring. Diaz for Cosi Russo on the slide.
Nice cutback, Cosi. Young Ben Chu's going to be a great player of the future, I think, too.
Cosi Russo takes over. Corey Swall's there. He's in the post. And a second time of asking, it's Cosi Russo who hits the frame of the goal. How's a catching practice from our cameraman? It gets caught in the net. But how close were Fitzroy from a second?
He's going to have to come back towards himself.
Jimmy Soufis and Gabriel Zabas having a watch on. They can't believe it. Corey Swall, you could argue, might be unlucky to not have a hat-trick. He's had a hat-trick of chances which have not gone his way.
He'll have a hat-trick of Fitzroy fines now for missing it.
As well, Jaron leading the charge. Saka still going. Had Taizan Sakurada in the box. Now Nepa Messina wants to go on a bit of a spin around the world with a roulette to relieve the tension. And Fitzroy will be back in possession. Lovely field of this one as Chu just started on the ball momentarily. Diaz with Russo. Down court pass to Chu. Saka while Joan backtracking. Sakurada the lone soldier for Pheonix. Hamza out wide towards this nice build up of people here in Mount Waverley.
Theo Janilis back on the pitch here. I'll tell you what, his sister's an absolute weapon of a keeper. Young, but very good keeper.
Janilis with his United socks on, despite representing Northern Pheonix.
Referee will pick him up on that momentarily.
Might have to. Tell you what, it's subtle, but it's there. And Scott Rogan, here's the Raging Bull. Quite the player Arturo Diaz has fashioned out to be over the years. As Nepa Messina awaits the movement of Chu. Of course, 2 former FC Carlton Hart teammates.
2 ankle injuries, young Ben Chu is as well. Did one, then came back, did the other ones. Just recovering. Currently still in the middle of rehab, but seems to be holding up all right, which is good.
Hoping for a clean bill of health as Sakurada not just kamikaze away. Of course, was a custodian of Altona Knights. Moved across to Western United. Has had moments of real class. Sakurada just can't seem to be consistent. Injuries have perhaps got in the way and more scheduled clashes, but
no, he doesn't have to go off. Sorry.
Well, that's been the call by Mary Hugh Beak, the official. And well, I don't think Gnomes is too pleased about it. In fact, she's taken the headset off and has gone for a trot towards Mary Hugh Beak and the referee staff. Really enjoyed her company this morning. Out of Gnomes Lagman. As Scott Rogan here in Mount Evelyn. No stranger to the event nor the traditional step over. Great move at the back post was Diaz. It superseded Nepa Messina. And now Riyam Waljaran brought on court. Waljaran brothers, of course, Balquis Waljaran in the women's series futsal competition. A real staple for Western United. Awanaki had to match the quality of Western in that competition. And the likes of Preston FC also. Heidelberg United also making their way and presence felt in the indoor circuit with a women's team. As well, Gnomes, what's Jab for us there, our investigative journalist this morning?
Just out on the field. I need a roving mic, that's what I need. I should have just wandered off. If our headset cord was longer, I could have done it.
Roaming Gnomes, it might be called. A new feature is...
New feature.
Yosef.
Here is the story. He was sent off. The rule is if he's attended to, but because they'd stopped the clock, they deemed that he needed to come off.
Javara Nepomuceno was in the box, but in typical fashion, Gabriel Zabias and Jimmy Sufis call for a timeout. They look to set up here Fitzroy. They have a corner and a one-goal lead with 5 minutes left in this first half of F-League action.
The Brains Trust. Gabe Zabella's actually going to give the timeout mid-pitch by the look of it.
The Brains Trust.
Tyler Lewis. Oh no, I was going to say Tyler Lewis giving some direction, but no, it's Joe. Tyler's just holding the board. Joe, fresh back from Thailand, with his gig in the new purchase of clubs by Aku in the Thai League, working heavily with the AFC over there.
So how can Pheonix avoid any more capital punishment from this Fitzroy corner? Trailing by the one goal, but they've been competitive. It's not a corner, it's a very deep side ball, nearly a corner almost, as Swool will take shots and Nepomuceno gave it shape. And Javara can hit them as quick as a rocket ship can ignite and take off into the sky. It's right on cue before when I was explaining to a man on production today that, well, Javara Nepomuceno's got all the pedigree in the world. And on cue, he put it right into the top left corner just before this one got underway. As Josef Alicech, another player featured for Pheonix today, usual custodian of Hume FC, along with Hamza Chandab. Mo Tanker really has an emphasis on youth, and there's a greener pastures upcoming for Hume FC. Love to see what they can do on a bigger court next year. And the affiliation is a turnover from Josef Alicech in a very unforgiving area, and the Raging Bull is there to make something of it. Now Fitzroy looking to lock in inside their attacking half. It's Rogan, the Raging Bull, stepping over, skewering it out wide to Nepomuceno. Alicech is isolated there. He's on his own, leading the charge. The options arrived, but nothing was too threatening.
Yeah, just popped it away to the side. It was interesting choice of shot. Maybe could have played it back to the top.
As Nepomuceno threads it for Corey Swool in some space, gets his cross blocked by Rahan Ali. Rogan still going, Hamza not dealing with it, and Cosy Russo barely needs a glimpse in front of goal. They call him the sniper for some reason, and he finds his brace with 4 minutes left in this opening half. He barely needs half a chance, Gnomes. This man has such an understanding on where the two posts are, and upon any opportunity will score.
Capitalises as required.
Alicic works it back towards Hamza. Captain working it, Javara intervening nicely. Cozzy Russo, big save again required by Rose. And Pheonix, well, the wheels haven't fallen off yet, but the signs are just starting to perhaps be ominous for them as Corey Sewell caught off the fly. Rogan got in the way. Nepomuceno, what a save that is by Christopher Rose. He barely had a moment to react, but like a cat almost, clawed it away. And Javara thought he'd scored. He started to celebrate prematurely. But it'll be Fitzroy's corner yet again as Cozzy Russo across the face. What a save that was from Rose.
That's a screamer. He'll be feeling that for quite some time.
This is where we need replays on today's coverage, because that's some action you've got to see time and time again. It was such a stop.
We're making 1,000 reels out of these matches for sure. It'll be footage for days.
Hamza works it across to Aljan.
Trying to work on a rotation there. Not quite. Pinched.
Cozzy Russo lets fly again.
Tell you what, if he was being paid per save down here, he'd be making an absolute mozza.
You wouldn't be too surprised if he was, though, Rose, because he's getting in the way of shots that not many keepers would.
So it takes a special human to be a goalkeeper.
Cross comes in, Nepomuceno. It's Javaro's show, no matter the court or the competition. And it's takeoff for Javaro Nepomuceno in F-League competition for Fitzroy. They hit their third with 3 minutes left in the opening half. The man from Curaçao makes no mistake from the first touch.
The man
following the corner.
Sweating like a demon. Did you see him come off
He's working hard, Javaro, and that's what he tends to do when he's, well, getting into a groove. And Fitzroy are putting all the love into this contest. They lead by 3 goals.
Suggesting that was 2 fouls, but 1 foul. Oh, no, he's saying that's his second one. Jimmy giving him some last-minute instructions from the side.
Scott Rogan. And the free kick works it out wide towards Sewell. Gets it back, Scott Rogan. It's a real trademark Fitzroy move, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really was, but they was not what Jimmy had asked him to do. But anyway, they're sorting it out. Referees just stopping play briefly to correct the goals. Scott and Mary just discussing their lunch orders.
Scott Rogan wanting to step around Alicic, who slides on the deck, and they're really building now the Tigers. Northern Pheonix, the cracks are starting to get a little bit more evident. As great shape on it from Brian Chu. Ben Chu, rather.
Ben Chu.
Not sure how Brian might have got in the
it's okay, you can rename
mental fabric there, but as well, Jarrett has a bounce off Scott Rogan. Saka had his back turned to the ball going back towards him.
Unimpressed, just walks away.
Don't think he's too impressed, and you'll know that with Saka. When he's unhappy, well, Jarrett will certainly showcase in his performance. But when he's on song, he sings a symphony. Cross court, passes nice towards Bryant.
A little bit of social facts.
Oh, Bryant kept going. It's a brilliant move from the captain against his parent club. And that's just showcasing the rich youth pedigree that Fitzroy possess. A player against them on this occasion in F-League futsal nearly scored a worldie as Akon Joe want to set up from the corner that Northern Pheonix have perhaps their best opportunity.
They do.
To find one back here, Gnomes.
A little bit of social background. You know that Hamza is actually married to Saka's sister. Facts.
At the age of 19.
Oh, I think they're 21 maybe. He'll confirm with me later how old he is.
How lucky a man can be. I wish that was the case.
Yep. A fabulous little family they have. Fabulous. She is the better player of the three, I will suggest. She'll be here. I think she's playing this morning, actually. She's a weapon. Extreme martial artist as well. If you need the inside word on the players, please just reach out. We'll give it to you. Few last minute instructions there from Joe. Oh, nice little set.
Oh, it's inviting.
I was quite excited. I preempted the goal there. I was very excited.
As Rogan works it onto Swool, back towards Cosy Russo. Not too much time left in this opening half. Fitzroy in firm command. They have a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, they're very comfortable here with 1:45 to go. Cosy Russo is looking very sharp today. Goal hungry, one might say. Great 4-0 rotation. Fitzroy playing here. Oscar Bryant with the block. Fantastic. Good strength, buddy. Well done. Almost. Blocked out by Arturo Diaz. Saka in control from the back. Shendeb. Oscar Bryant rolling around trying to start a bit of a 3-1 rotation. Didn't get away with it. Restart again.
And now, Gnomes, before this
Pheonix.
first half closes out, not to interrupt you, I want to
you're
put the onus on you, perhaps. What can Northern Phoenix do to get themselves back in this game? Look, it's hard to buy a goal against Fitzroy on any occasion, but they haven't performed too poorly so far, those in blue.
I think they just need to get on the same page. I think there's some quite skilled players on this pitch, but they go to start a rotation, but they don't all move. So, yeah, it's interesting. They need to really all get on the same page.
Corner for the Raging Bull. Cosy Russo was short. Block was there from Alicic. Turo Diaz finds Corey Swool.
Some back post begging to be knocked in today. 3 games in, and I reckon we've had about 50 missed back posts. Not that I'm keeping stats.
Oh, Corey Swool wanted to go on a journey, gets around well, Jaron nicely. Cosy Russo tried to sidestep on Shandab.
That was a little bit soft, I think.
Enough for it to be there, I think. And Cosy Russo is a real crafty man in terms of attacking craftsmanship. And I think Javaro, that's going to be the call from Jimmy Soufis.
Let him shoot it, all right? Who's shooting it? This is going to be the trick.
Javaro Nepomuceno from the dead ball will step up off his left. And Jimmy Soufis and Gabriel Ceballos have a bit of a sideways face. I don't think that's what Javaro was looking to provide.
I think he missed the message, Javaro, there.
As Maliaros really had to earn his stripes, his goalkeeper's been called upon late in this half. And the Pheonix, unfortunate to not fire away and capitalise. But right at the death of this first half, it's Fitzroy, the commanding 3-goal lead against Northern Phoenix. But all considered, hasn't been the worst outing so far as we cross to a short half-time break.
We're preparing for the second half here, Northern Pheonix with the kickoff. We are now at Game 3, F League 2024. Little recap for the day's matches. We started the day early, Moreland v Arku. Moreland coming out on top there. The second game, Arku ladies v
FC Carlton Heart, I believe.
FC Carlton Heart. Arku coming out on top. Now we have Fitzroy v Northern Pheonix. Fitzroy currently leading 3-0 here in the second half.
Well, hunting for a fourth there. It was a provocative pass provided on this side of court by Cosirosa, who's already gone to the opposite side very quickly. So Aljaran for Yaquin Jimenez, Albion Chachi in the building for Pasco Vale, parent club of Yaquin Jimenez, who's in Northern Pheonix Aqua today. As Sakurada could not get around the man mountain of Corey Swool. And while Akon Joe was firmly involved in the halftime team talks, had a fair bit to say to his troops to try rally them on and get some unity. Of course, Northern Pheonix, as Afa mentioned, have been really thrown together for this F-League competition, but a lot of talent on court. As well, Jaron showcases what he's made of. Forces the keeper into a save. Sean Price in between the sticks.
Gerardo Soto in the house with baby Soto. Very cute.
Price has had a firm involvement for Fitzroy in the Youth Championship. One of the only younger goalkeepers featured in that competition, the under-23s, which Western United had gone on to win. Elias Parthamos firmly involved in getting the job done again for Western United, along with their manager, Salman Mohammed. He's really moulded into that senior role at Western. Of course, Fernando de Moraes, that's a name that's synonymous with futsal. Gnomes, and his involvement at the ripe age of 45 is still palpable till this day.
He is. Played his youth career or his junior career in Brazil. São Paulo.
While Jaron sits down, Ben Chu couldn't sit down the raging ball. Chu back up on his feet, has Corey Saul in support. It's a 2-on-1 here, and Chu went a bit too premature.
Saul telling him he wanted him to trust himself and go in for the shot. Fitzroy ladies starting to roll into the house. Again, a lot of them were here last night for the Australian National Women's Team trials. First ones ever.
Jaron gave it away, and it's a big save by Rose. Sorry there, Gnomes. Chu
right.
Nearly got involved. Well, Jaron was flirting with fire there, wasn't he, Gnomes? All considered.
Yeah, it's going to be... Oh, here we go. Oh, no, never mind. I got excited, but Hamza Swade threw his whole chest in there.
Jimenez, Hamza Swade. As well, Jaron. That's not utilised.
Hamza just directing the rest of the team, letting them know that they needed to get into position to play this rotation that they're desperately trying to get started. The frustration is showing. They just get one on the board here, I think Northern Pheonix will feel a lot better about themselves. A little bit of confidence goes a long way in futsal.
Well, Jaron on towards Swade. Bounces off Swall. The two colossals collide. Jaron confronted with two Fitzroy shirts. Cosirusso's leading the brigade. Hamza Swade got back to provide some support. Fitzroy got a shot away, which was blocked by Pheonix. As Scotty Rogan. Cosirusso. Provocative pass was the idea. In firm command now the Tigers. And I wonder the thoughts of Milton Sakos and company at Moreland and what they're thinking, of course, tomorrow. The ultimate go home and perhaps, well, prelude to the final for next week.
I think they were thinking about where they were going to go for lunch between their games tomorrow. That was the conversation I heard. We'll play at 10 and play at 4. Where are we going for lunch in between? I think that was the conversation. Priorities for the day.
Nepomuceno makes it a priority to score. He's second for Fitzroy. Sweet connection. And the man from Curaçao has a brace.
Absolute bread and butter goal, that. Young Rose, not impressed. Absolutely not impressed. They're going to need to... Here we go. We got the start of a little rotation here. Let's see if they can't follow it through.
Great ball. Well, Jaron couldn't skid away from Corey Swall on towards Russo. Couldn't thread the needle. Christopher Rose.
Corey Swall, he's done well there. Great little touch. Parallel ball. Oh.
Well, Jaron and Scott Rogan. Well, in the future, certainly, you want to see them on the same team.
Yeah, very interesting matchup there.
Oh, their opponents today, I'm sure, in the stages further down in Sakawal Jones' career, he will be lining up on court next to Scott Rogan.
Yeah, he's been doing some of our development programs, so he's been training with Scott a bit.
Oh, and Corey Swall, that is straight from the top shelf. He stepped inside on his right, let fly, and Christopher Rose has to take some bit considering he's been making plentiful saves, but there's no denying the undeniable Corey Swall, sweet as you like off his right boot, and that's the reason to the many as to why he's a futsal root.
Took us a long time to get him into that side, mate. But he's definitely had a go now, and surely they'll be keeping him.
When you can finish and provide moments like that, it's hard to really deny the quality and athleticism he provides, Corey Swall. He's a real unique individual. Not to quote Brett Quirk, but... Oh.
He's definitely having a very physical matchup there with Theo Danilis.
And now Rogan as Nepomuceno ball rolls on his own. It's just trademark from the captain and the man from Curaçao. It's Javaro's show. Nepomuceno running right. He's got his hat-trick, but it's all on the back of the brilliance from Scott Rogan. Tantalising footwork. And Nepomuceno's task was easy at the back post to tap in the loose ball. Fitzroy, 6 in front of Northern Pheonix.
Here we
A
are.
real trademark Fitzroy goal, Gnomes.
It was very much bread and butter stuff. These last 2-3 goals that Fitzroy have had. Really looking to capitalise. Scott telling Cozzy off there. Not impressed that he didn't play the way it should have. Scott just letting Ben know he needs to keep an eye on Oscar Bryant on this side.
Courageous from the Northern Pheonix captain. Very young man, really moulding into a decent player in his own right. As stated before, of course, Fitzroy, his parent club.
Yeah, definitely one for the junior development program, Fitzroy. Ben Shaw will be angry at himself for that. Never mind, he's got it back as Shendeb runs it out.
Nepomuceno short on a hat-trick, Javaro. There's a few question marks perhaps around what he could provide into a Fitzroy team, and well, he's passed with flying colours. He's made an appearance. Jimenez has a glance. It's Nepomuceno backtracking, not going around Corey Swall. They take a tumble, himself and Jimenez, and a foul. And a free kick will open up here for Northern Pheonix. Who strikes it though, Gnomes? Who's got the artillery to really give it a good hit and test for pricing goal?
Oh, well, we're going Saka. I would have given it to Jimenez.
I think this is certainly in the region of Sakawal Jaron. Adam Cooper loves a long run-up, as notoriously known.
He does.
Well, Jaron follows in the same suit and lets fly, and it hits the chest of Nepomuceno. It's never really goal-bound, though.
No, he was a long way from the goal there.
Joe barking orders. Wants Hamza to attack the space in the middle.
Not listened, and suddenly he's right back at the back after Joe told him to be in the middle.
Rogan and Muljaran. Saka's
He's
side ball.
very deep, Shendeb there. I'm going to say too deep because his pitch is far too long to be
Trying to find comfort
parking
in the
way
deeper
back
role.
there. Yeah, that's keeper zone back there.
Chandab stepping inside nicely. The space had opened up. It was moved nicely forward in that interpretation, but just not received by Jaron out wide.
Yeah. That's what we were saying just before half-time, right? They're just not all on the same page, unfortunately. I think as today goes on, it's game one. Got to get out the first game jitters.
As Chu, a bit of a heavy touch. Chandab and Chu go for a bit of a push into the netting. And the two are all good. It's just a bit of being overzealous.
It's got a bit of flex, that net too, so if it's not pulled tight, so when you think you might bounce back, you don't. You just kind of bounce all the way down to the floor, gently.
Scott Rogan takes charge. The Raging Bull had his shot denied by Rose. Nepomuceno flirting with the idea of shooting, gives it back to the Raging Bull, former Pascoval teammates. Rogan across the face, nobody home.
Very good at holding possession of the ball, Fitzroy, just passing it around. Very tidy. Joe wanting the keepers to be involved. Instead, they've gone with the long ball touch across the front of the goal.
Oh, Sharon thought about striking well inside his defensive third. And that ricochets back for his keeper. Saka, you can feel, just growing frustrated by it, and that might prompt him to get a bit more lively with his footwork. Chu reads it. Hamza Chandab backtracking. Rose clearing.
Not a terrible clearance by Rose there. Smart enough to put it back in the opposite half, not just kick it out where he was.
Nepomuceno, deft touch. Chandab takes charge. Tries to go through both Rogan and Nepomuceno. Javara getting back and using his body. A lot of Javara Nepomuceno.
There's some significant shoulders there. Very strong.
And he prides himself on his physical acumen and the way he both paces and uses his strength to his advantage. A real menace on the pitch and on the court also.
He's done 2 laps. He's ready for a sub. Called it. Jimmy Soufas, please get me off. I've done 2 laps.
A lot to do for Javara Nepomuceno and Western City on Friday night. The go-home show for the year and the final love letter to Series Futsal in Thomastown. Western City, Altona Knights. Who succumbs to relegation? That's the relegation battle. 9:30 next week on Friday night. As well, Jaron tried the angle and couldn't find the corner. The go-home show for the year, Gnomes, next Friday.
That'll be it. That'll be the one.
Javara, I'm sure, will be firmly involved. Noel Sorma has been trying to build Western City to escape the bottom of the automatic relegation position. I think Chu might have got in the way of a goal.
I think he tried to jump over that, but he could not quite. Without an enormous front flip, he was never getting over that.
Oh, it looked like it was going to go in from where we were situated here. Good use of the body by the young captain of Oscar Bryant. Aled Shech stuttering. Swall standing with a challenge. But all considered, Thomastown, 10 years Series Futsal was situated there for Gnomes. Of course, we were here at Mount Evelyn a few years back, but quite the venue it was on a Abruzzo Crescent out in Settlement Road. And on to, of course, a new chapter with Football Victoria along for the journey as affiliates.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting time, I think. Interesting time for futsal.
Be sure to tune in next Friday night. Of course, next Wednesday for the Women's League. So it all comes to a close. We'll return at the end of January with the National Championships involved in between.
Not impressed with himself, Scott Rogan, with that. Crowd building in the grandstands on the inside of the pitch space now too, which is good to see. Here we go, Corey Silk. Oi!
Oi!
Thought we were going to have a banger. Got excited. Prematurely excited.
Hamza Chandab, lovely. Got away from 2. Scott Rogan, the captain, had to say that's enough of that from Hamza. Well, Jaron now spins away. Half opportunity.
Oh, he'll be absolutely filthy at that.
And how close was Saka Waljaron to finding Northern Phoenix's first goal in their men's representation here in the F League. Crossbar rattled. Not too far away was Saka. Price was nowhere near it as it will falter back with Rose, who goes long for Hamza Chanda.
Absolute long game here, aren't they? Just
might as well
end.
Try conjure up a consolation.
It's a very big pitch to be playing end to end on. We have we don't. We have 4 minutes 52 to go in this third match of F League 2024. Fitzroy currently leading 6 goals to 0. Timeout has been called. Referees checking their watches, and in they come.
And I'll tell you what, considering the performance in which was exhibited by Moreland this morning at the expense of their opponents, when these two lock horns in a big court tomorrow at 3:45 for the F League's go-home show.
It's going to be a phenomenal game tomorrow. Last year's F League final was here. Moreland Fitzroy was an absolute huge match. So
which way to go on that day? Really scratching the
Fitzroy won.
The futsal brain, but no, Fitzroy got the job done.
Fitzroy got the job done. Moreland have beat Fitzroy here on the big pitch. They beat him in the round matches last year, actually, but Fitzroy got him in the final.
There's a few Classicos on the cards in the run into the end of the year. Of course, in Clubs Cup, Fitzroy and Moreland will have to face off at some stage. In fact, that might be next week in the semi-finals of that competition. Moreland had got the job done against Fitzroy in Season 1's Clubs Cup and would go on to win the entire thing at the expense of Western United. They will face off in one last league competition on Friday night, the third and final Classico for the second season. And then, of course, I'll face off in F League. So the Fitzroy and Moreland boys will be really well acquainted. Sure, Christmas presents might be also distributed between them at this stage of the year. They'll be seeing each other more than family, you'd assume.
Fitzroy look like they're going to prepare to play fifth man. Either that or Scott just wants to air his shirt out.
Not like they need to. But Isho Haskell has been called upon. He will take the place of Christopher Rose in goal. And that's, well, could be comedic to some, but a strategy to others. What can Isho provide? Gnomes? Your immediate thoughts surrounding that. Josh Fusco, our cameraman, also having quite the giggle.
They've clapped him on.
There's me. Here on commentary is a great test for Isho Haskell. There were certain claims that, well, from his own right, he wanted to be youth goalkeeper of the season. And Cozzy Russo says, well, welcome to court, Isho. Nothing he could do to save it.
That was definitely a welcome aboard, that was, wasn't it? Cozzy Russo just made that look easy.
7-0 on the scoreboard. Fitzroy really enjoying it. Joe having a complaint to Scott Rogan. What are you doing? Why is the fifth man kid on?
What a bit of banter coming out.
And on comes Scott Rogan. Fitzroy love this situation. They train fifth man week in, week out. They had to utilise it in the most recent Classico, which are trailing more than by.
Actually needed to go to the bathroom, so Scott's come on. Gone for a coffee, perhaps.
They love this situation.
It's what a time to practice it. Scott's very good in this situation.
It's incredible how they utilised it in that most recent Classico. They were trailing that game. They would go on to win it on penalties. But to get on level terms, they utilised the fifth man as...
Ben Chu will be paying a fine for that. Oh, no, it's not Ben Chu. Geez, that's a lie. That was...
Arturo Diaz, I believe.
Arturo Diaz. Sorry, Ben, when he watches this back later.
As on comes Rogan again. Flash with Corey Swall. They combine. Nepomuceno gives it back to Scott Rogan. Sakurada trying to will himself on. He's happy that he was there to play block. Nepomuceno, short to Rogan, cross the face. Rahana. Jaron will flick on to Josef Alicech. Nobody was home. And Pheonix can find a consolation prize if they work it right.
Joe's very annoyed that his players are not moving where he wants them to be.
Nepomuceno for the Raging Bull. Cozzy also arriving in numbers. Twisting was Cozzy. The sniper still going. Rahan Ali with a nutmeg on Scott Rogan. He's pulled down. And a yellow card will have to come out. And well, Josef Alicech wanted to get away and, well, try and infiltrate the open goal. And Joe with some words to the Fitzroy bench. Gabriel Zabayos and Joe trading in a verbal barrage here.
Joe suggesting that Fitzroy have shares in Mount Evelyn.
Some claims made by our man Akon Joe, of course, former Series Futsal Men's Commissioner. I'm sure will be firmly involved with Northern Pheonix moving forward in his new role. As Russo turned and flied and went wide. Hamza Suede will progress forward with Alicech on the deck. It was controlled by Sakurada. Nearing our last 3 minutes. Pheonix, they were always up against it against Fitzroy. Sakurada tried to provocative. Rahan and Jaron tried it off the fly. Isho Haskell caught up on with his footwork. Distributes nicely to Sakurada. Can't go around the man from Curaçao. Turnover in play, and now a chance will open up. Russo. Haskell made himself big, and Isho Haskell, what a save that was. Required by the Western United keeper, back in Pheonix colours. And that's a personal footnote upon the match from Isho Haskell. The goalkeeper brought on to make a big save, and that's exactly what he's done.
Fitzroy going to knock this around, just hold possession and look for an opportunity to capitalise. If Northern Pheonix are smart here, they'll just hold strong shape. Update on the scores here today. First game of the round. Moreland v... Sorry, I've just dropped my thing. Moreland v Arku, the score being 3-0. Followed up Arku v FC Carlton Hart. The final score being 4-1 Melbourne Arku. We are currently in the third match of the day. Fitzroy v Northern Pheonix in the men's. We followed up after this one. Again, Fitzroy v Northern Pheonix in the women. Fitzroy v Melbourne Arku in the men's at 2 o'clock, and the last match of the day, Melbourne Arku v Fitzroy in the women's at 3:45 p.m. If you have just joined us, the current score is 7-0 to Fitzroy with a little over 2 minutes to go.
Back on court, all the players go. Fitzroy still with their fifth man jersey on Scott Rogan. Isho Haskell's been deployed as fifth man. Pheonix looking for a consolation prize. What can they conjure up? Haskell in possession. Works it to Jaron. Trying to find angle to get his shot away. Lovely footwork at the expense of a corner. That was nice by Bryant. Bryant's cross Jimenez was there. Corey Swall can go for home while Jaron with a jump and just put off Corey Swall right at the death. Joe wants a consolation. He wants his players to sit up high. Minute 45 left on the clock. Can the Northern Phoenix crack it at the expense of a Fitzroy clean sheet? Scott Rogan. Measured pass to Corey Swall. Lateral, incisive. Fitzroy working to Nepomuceno. On broadcast side, they get it back with Scott Rogan. Shoe at the back post. Nepomuceno unmarked. Corey Swall, the lone soldier.
Just toying with them, Fitzroy, now, aren't they?
Picking their moment, the Tigers, at the expense of the Pheonix. Cozzy Russo. Jimenez made himself big. Shoe to Cozzy Russo. Nepomuceno, a bit of a heavy touch. He goes down in the box. He's clutching at his left leg, but he's back up Javaro. In fact, no, he's not. He's slow to get back up on his feet. While Jaron makes sure that Nepomuceno's okay.
I thought he'd actually done something serious there.
God forbid, especially if you're Noel Sommer, considered Western City need that man come Friday night to avoid automatic relegation at the expense of the Knights. But Javaro is back up on his feet. It's so intimidating when Javaro Nepomuceno is defending you because he does not look at the ball. He looks you stare.
Straight in the eye.
He stares you down directly in the middle, right in between your eyelids. He does not blink, Javaro, and it certainly puts off the person in possession as Jimenez. While Jaron, the deepest of all Phoenix players, Haskell stepping up as the keeper. They want a consolation inside the last 25 seconds. Can Phoenix find it? Bryant at the back post, calling for it. Jimenez. Bryant, Jimenez with some forward movement. Lateral pass to Jaron. Haskell on his bike. We've never seen Isho move that quickly. But he was
steps and he's done this month at speed.
Rampant to get back as Corey Swall has to get it out of there. Jimenez, the goal is vacant. Russo will save.
No rush from Scott Rogan to get back there either.
Oh, and dare I say, Scott Rogan can goalkeep as well.
He's not terrible.
But no effort will be testing of him.
What do we got? 7 seconds to go in this third round match of F League 2024.
And that's all she wrote as Fitzroy make light work of this thrown together Northern Phoenix outlet. That does boast some talent, mind you, but the Tigers, ever so impressive. They win 7-0. And Gnomes, I'm signing off. That's all me done for today. I'll join you back for the Classico at 3:45 tomorrow to close out the first weekend of F League futsal here in Mount Evelyn. I hope you've enjoyed my company, Gnomes. It's been a pleasure to work alongside you today.
I look forward to doing it again tomorrow.
And I will see you all then. So thank you for joining me. Signing off is Adam Palombi. Keep enjoying F League futsal. It's a real quality product brought to you on Facebook and across the socials. Until next time, goodbye, but enjoy what's to come.
See you all back here for the very next match, Northern Phoenix v Fitzroy in the women's.